Hey, what's up, guys? So, just like pretty much every direct ever, we got like a bunch of free things that just kind of dropped after the direct, and I just kind of want to give my 2 cents on like each one of those things. Every bit of free content I'm gonna talk about, unless there's something I missed, then I guess you guys can let me know what I missed, and I can go, check that out, and I'll talk about it for a bit, maybe on Twitter or something. But I also took a little longer to do this video because for some reason the Super Nintendo games came out like I think the day after or something, so I kind of wanted to wait on that to talk about that for a bit. But then I realized very quickly when I did finally get to play the Super Nintendo games that maybe I shouldn't have waited because they're basically exactly what I expected them to be. I'm not sure what I was thinking, honestly. I should have just went and made the video originally for the other two things, but I mean, hey, the Super Nintendo games are here. I guess I'll talk about them. Good selection for the most part. There's a few that doesn't make any sense as to why it's in there at all, to be honest. There's even like a Japanese Puyo Puyo game, and it's weird because there's like 4 choices on the menu and none of it is, translated in any capacity. So I have no idea what I'm even picking to begin with. But I mean, hey, it's there. It's Puyo Puyo. And I mean, gameplay wise, you don't really need to be able to read Japanese to play Puyo Puyo, but I would at least like to know if I'm picking easy mode or story mode or options or whatever the hell any of those options are. It just seems kind of weird and random, but I digress. I mean, it's still cool to be able to play A Link to the Past and Super Metroid and all those good games again. My big criticism is, some of the games included, and for some reason, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they're no longer doing monthly additions to these games, so that means we're not getting NES and SNES games anymore every month, which totally sucks because, okay, I get that like adding the Super Nintendo games gave us some more value, but what also gave us some value was the idea that we would continue getting more per month, and now suddenly that's no longer a thing. So that just kind of really sucks. I don't know why they would do that. I mean, the other subscriptions don't they don't add more every month and then just go like, that's enough, you don't need any more. I get it's only $20 a year, but that still really fucking sucks. So I don't really understand that decision, to be honest. But that's not the only free thing we got, right? So and the other 2 things are new games. So yeah, the other game is Super Kirby Clash, which is the one that I've been having gameplay playing around this entire time. And yeah, it's probably the best of the 3 in terms of its like the free stuff, right? Because the Super Nintendo games are, the old games. We've played them a million times over. I've beaten A Link to the Past like a million times over, and same has gone for like the majority of these games, especially like Super Mario World. So while I like them, it's not exactly new, so I'm not like super excited for them. They're cool though. They're a lot better than NES games, I'll give you that. But Super Kirby Clash feels like the best of the 3, primarily because it's new, it's online co-op, even if it's Nintendo Switch Online, which means it's not exactly the most stable of things. But I kind of like it. It's basically just like, it feels like I don't know if you guys have played The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes on the 3DS. But it kind of feels like that, except not so dependent on co-op. Like you're able to play the game on your own and it works just fine. And it's basically just like the game gives you these sort of like boss fights, I guess, and you're meant to like fight these bosses with your team, and then you can upgrade, get better gear and whatnot. And honestly, it's probably something that you could beat maybe in a fair amount of time, but it seems kind of cool. It's free to start, like they mentioned in the direct, and the way the game makes money is that just like any free-to-play title, there is microtransactions. Now the microtransactions it's kind of weird because they end. Like they're microtransactions that actually end, at least from what it looks like, because you have this sort of apple tree, and then the apples the tree gives you are used to, like, you know, buy weapons, armor, items, that sort of thing. And I think, if I remember correctly, every day or so they will basically give you more apples or something like that. Like, it periodically gives you apples, and then the tree will level up and do more things. But when you buy the microtransactions, the tree will level up to a certain extent, and then once it hits that level cap, it just won't give you any more, but it will give you more per, like, I guess, picking or whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of weird. And it seems like you need to buy like $40 worth of microtransactions for the game to basically be full, or at least for the tree to essentially be full of, you know, the apples or whatever you want to go by. It's interesting. I've never really seen that before. I've never really seen like a game that's free to play have like microtransactions that kind of end. The only thing that this game does that I'm not a fan of, and a lot of free to play games do this, not all of them, which is good, they have a stamina meter. I'm not a big fan of stamina meters. If you're unaware, that basically just means that, like, you get punished for playing the game, basically. You play the game and you use some of your stamina up, and then once your stamina is, like, you know, gone, you can't really play the game anymore. Not until the stamina is filled up. It's a little generous though, because you're able to basically, if you play online, that takes a different stamina altogether than if you're playing solo, so you can play more compared to other games. But I just don't like stamina systems in general, primarily because, like, there's games like, say, I believe Pokemon Masters, which released not too long ago, that don't have a stamina mechanic at all, so I'm able to play it whenever the hell I feel like it, and it's just fine. So I guess that's like my only con to Kirby Clash. So that's kind of it. Like, the game does a lot pretty well. It's not super deep. I mean, you're playing a Kirby game. Kirby games aren't really deep in general, but it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good, and the microtransactions at most go up to $40, and compared to other, you know, free-to-play titles out there, that you could be spending a lot more money. Not saying that you should or anything like that. If you're not gonna put a dime into the game, don't put a dime into the game. But it's just rare to see a free-to-play game say, okay, once you hit $40, you basically get everything. You know, I'm used to seeing games that are free-to-play allow you to drop hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars and still be able to get more stuff because they want you to keep spending that money. But Kirby doesn't do that, which is interesting. So I would say Kirby's Clash is, yeah, probably the best of the three, which could be kind of insulting if you're aware of the third game I'm gonna talk about, which is the Daemon X Machina Prologue demo. This is obviously a demo for the upcoming game that releases, like, what is it, like the 13th, I believe. And yeah, I mean, it's better than the original demo, but it's still not enough to convince me to want to buy the game. It still feels so weird. Like I said, it's definitely an improvement, but I'm sorry to say, but I think Kirby Clash, the free-to-play game, is just better right now in terms of, like, the free stuff that came out after the Direct. It's just, I'm not into how it feels playing the game. And it sucks because I really like the character customization. I like the art style. I like the way the game looks. I like the presentation. I just hate how it plays. And it's to the point where when I'm playing the game, it doesn't feel very fun. And that's a big deal. If the game doesn't feel fun, then there's not much I can really give the game, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't really know what to say other than that. Daemon X Machina's demo is welcomed for people who want to be able to try out the game and be able to, you know, see the differences between the last demo and this demo. Even then, the changes they've made, at least to me anyways, is not enough to convince me that the game is worth a purchase. I was pretty into the game's, like, overall look and whatnot, but that's not enough to make me buy a game, you know? So that's kind of it. It was just kind of disappointing. I was kind of hoping that it did enough to make me feel better about buying the game, but it really didn't do that. It's actually pretty it feels pretty much the same, actually. Yeah, that's kind of all I want to talk about with you guys today. I didn't want to, like, keep you guys forever, right? So I guess just let me know how you felt about these games. I always think it's interesting to kind of just check out all of the free stuff that drops after a direct, and kind of just like see which ones I actually see myself playing the most. I think Kirby, unironically, is the one that you're gonna see me on the most, and that's kind of it. The Super Nintendo games, yeah, I can see that, and the Daemon X Machina demo, that's probably getting deleted like immediately after this video's done being made. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel about the free stuff that dropped. Maybe you're playing one or the other. Maybe you don't care about any of these things, and you're just still waiting for the games that we saw in the direct. So, feel free to let me know in the comments. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you disliked it, and yeah, that's kind of it, guys. So I'll see you guys in the next one.